is that he's been here, he's been doing the work, and that's what speaks for itself. Don't bring in nobody that I ain't seen, and I'm almost all as dirty as this man over here. Me and him go back way, way, way back. And when I can tell you, when all the ships is not sailing in the same direction, I done been to enough meetings. I had somebody have me choking on Sunday saying, we ain't even seen this candidate at a health fair. We ain't seen him on a flyer. We ain't seen him at nothing, about nothing, to nothing, for nothing. And we all stand for something. And SOBE is what we're going to stand for. And that's what we're going to do for SOBE. Thank you for the introduction. Thank you.
That's right. Let's clap for one more time just for reinforce, right?
Maria, don't sit down. Forbes is an icon here in the Bronx. More so than anything else. We had lunch yesterday. She has 727 apartments. She got 3,500 tenants. An icon, committed to our cause, 100% behind our next candidate. So yesterday is gone, tomorrow may never come. But our moment to make SOBE our next candidate and be elected is certainly now. Thank you.
I'm gonna end with this. Only reason why I ain't running, because I got 7 cemeteries. I don't got no skeletons in my closet. I got cemeteries. But SOBE ain't got none. He got beautiful children that's in school doing something for themselves. But I do have a business and establishment with my cemeteries. I love you all. Be good.
Love you too. All right. Is Eric Stevens here? I don't see him. Not yet. Okay, well, I guess it's my turn. I want to talk about the man. I guess if anybody can talk about SOBE, I'm qualified to do so, right? I get a birthday this year, leap year day. I finally get a birthday this year. So that makes me 12 days older than you this year, right? We've been friends since 3 years old. Our moms were best friends until my mother went on to be with the Lord. I actually preached her funeral right here in this church. I want to thank the Friendly Church for even allowing us to come in here and have this meeting tonight. We want to let's clap for this church for opening their doors for us, right? Well, I want to talk about SOBE. SOBE has always been about the Bronx. Highbridge, in particularly, because that's where he grew up. That's where we grew up, right? Highbridge Gardens. I went on to the White Building. They knew me as Damon from the projects, then Damon from the White Building. I'm community with Tiffany. Glad that Tiffany's able to come. Well known and in the community with a lot of work she's done also. And she's here because when she heard that SOBE was running in this race, we got on the phone, her, Jerry, and I, and we were so excited. And she said, any way I can help, I want to help. And that's what's indicative about everybody that's sitting in this chair. I spoke to Clyde. He said, my whole household is excited for voting for Norman SOBE McGill. We cannot wait, right? And the reason being is because we know his character. You vote for a person on character. SOBE is from this community. SOBE's not a plant. Some of y'all don't know what a plant is. He's not somebody that had 2 failed campaigns in Harlem. He's not repping Harlem 1 minute, and then, okay, there's a seat and it's an availability in the Bronx. We're gonna say that you from the Bronx. How long you been there? 2016. Okay, what did you do in the Bronx? Oh, I'm at Malali's. I'm cooking with my kids and we playing baseball. I'm the coach. We was little league. We was coaching kids our age when I'm going in the 70s. What was the team name? You know, he got a better memory than me sometimes. But we've been coaching, doing tournaments. Jerry's giving tournaments in Highbridge. We going back in the 90s when I had the same attire on and they called me Coach Riley, right? And Sobe's team beat my team, which I had the best team. But his team beat me. He's been coaching kids way back. He's been doing the work in the community. Let me tell y'all something. And I don't know how many of y'all would do what he did. Sobe had an opportunity. His family and his wonderful wife, beautiful wife, Rochelle, that's sitting by his side, that's ride or die, always by his side, working by his side. That opportunity to move to Atlanta in a big house, fancy, nice house. And most of us would have picked up and left. Come on, y'all, keep it a buck. They're still here. And this has been years. I'm going to tell you something. Don't get mad at me. You know you're my brother and I love you. Behind your back, and I'll say it to your face, but because I didn't say it with malice. I said, so he's not leaving. His heart and his roots are in this community. Watch him. And he didn't even know that this was going to open up to give him even more reason to stay. He loves this community, y'all. He deserves this seat. He deserves, I'm going to say that again. He deserves this seat. Why? Because he will get the job done. His heart is in it. It's not just a job to him, like the legendary Mr. Fred Brown said. He was doing the work behind the scenes, not for a check. I would come to Highbridge Day, and Sobie was always, listen, y'all, Sobie was always fly. I come to Highbridge Day and see him dirty and up with shorts on and running around. I said, what is he doing? He's carrying grills, making sure burgers are getting flipped, hat to the back. He's running around like a chicken with his head cut off. For what? For who? For the people. Let me tell you something. If your life is about me, mine, and I, you haven't lived. Until you give your life to help somebody else, that is the greatest reward that you can receive. And Norman Sobie McGill has given his life to the community, timeless time, for years. This is who he is. If I went on to tell you about the husband and father that he is, you always need a blanket and a quilt, because this man, children, his son, my godson, can't even tell you. Now there's 6 buildings in Highbridge Gardens. It starts from 1065, 1075, 1095, 1125, my building, the best building, 1135, then we go over to 1145, that's 6, right? You ask his son, the youngest son, Steph, the ball player, well, they're all ball players, his daughter's in, right now, Shelby's on a full paid scholarship to play basketball. Steph, full paid scholarship to play basketball. And Latrell had the same thing. Because this is the father and mother that they've been at all the games, cheerleading. I've been there with them through the years. A father, a parent in the lives of their children. This is who this man is. Why am I taking so much time to go on and on and on and cheerlead for him? Because I want you to know who the candidate is. So when you go out there, shake hands, give palm cards to people, you can believe what you're saying. You're not selling a lie. You're telling the truth. His kid can't even tell you all of the building numbers in Highbridge Gardens. No, he's not dumb. But his father always had him in programs. His mother always had him playing. They had him doing things that he didn't have time to hug the block or always stay in the hood. They were always active. This is why when you see him on the news talking about, I want to bring more programs for the kids so that they can stay out of trouble. They won't go to jail. Idle hands and idle time is the devil's playground. You don't have something to do, the devil will find something for you to do. And trust me, it won't be good. I've done prison ministry in Rikers Island 2 days a week to go speak to young people and to let them know you have another chance on life. Who did I speak to? Many of those nights, about this? Sobie. He knows the struggles and the things, the challenges that our young people face. So when he said, yes, I want to run, I want to do the work, I want to take your voice with me to Albany, what does that mean? I know what y'all feel. I know how you feel. I know how you think. I want to hear the things you go. I want to hear the talks that you talk about at the dinner table. I want to hear the struggles that you're having. So when I go and then we're making laws and legislature and we're doing all this stuff up there in Albany, I will be their champion. I will be there as a mouthpiece for you. My agenda is your agenda. It's not just my agenda. My agenda is your agenda. So like Mike said, this election is not about party. Democrats, how many of y'all grew up a Democrat? We inherited that. Do you know why you were a Democrat? No. My mother was a Democrat, my grandmother was a Democrat, my father was a, right? I'll tell y'all a quick story. There was a husband and wife, and every time that the wife made the pot roast, right? She would cut a big chunk off and throw it away. And the husband was like, hey, what you doing now? I paid money for that meat. What you doing? That's how my mother made it. That's how we cook. Well, I go to the mother. Mom, every time she makes a pot roast, she throws, no. My mother did it like that. That's how we do it. Don't ask me about that. So he said, let me go to the grandmother. Mama, why they throwing away all this meat? Every time that she makes this pot roast, they said that they got this from you. Why'd you cut the meat off and throw it away? She said, well, it was too big to fit in my pan. They're following the footsteps of somebody and don't even know why they're doing it. It's just something that they just saw and they inherited, right? But now we're old enough to make our own choices, right? So this election is not just about, this is a blue state, this is a blue town, everybody, we didn't know. It's not about that. It's about the best candidate whose heart is here, who's been here for years, who's gonna do the right thing, who's gonna get the job done for the Bronx, for the 77th district in this community that he represents. And I'm almost done. I can go on and on and on. I'm sure I'm leaving out a lot of stuff, but this is the man that we're gonna get behind. And like Mr. Brown said, and like I said, everybody tell more people, tell people. Listen, I will be at the train station shaking hands. I will be out there knocking on doors with you. I will be there. We need everybody collectively to get this job done and to make sure that this nice man, I'm sure he is, but he's not from here. They don't steal this election from us. Am I right about that? All right. Right. So next coming up, I'm going to introduce a man who's come with his camera crew. We're happy that they came here to film this, what we're sure is going to be historical on February 13th. Representing the host of Millennial 24, put your hands together for Eric Stevens.
Good evening, everyone. We'll bring some life in the house here. Praise God. Well, if you come into a house of worship, we always first got to give our thanks to the Most High, for whatever house of worship we enter. So with that, I say God bless everyone. I'm a former assemblyman of the neighboring district, 79th district, and I felt a necessity to be in here tonight because I see a critical fight on the radar. Most of the people in this community, if you live in this community, you're gonna take action on what's about to happen if you're wise. Because what's going on now is that someone from a party, from another place, wants to come take a seat because it's an opportunity, who knows nothing about the struggles, who knows nothing about the sufferings, who know nothing about the ills of the people of this community, who knows nothing about the life of the children of these streets, who know nothing about how to deal with the gang warfare and everything else here. But yet, you have a choice for a man who's helped me become into the government, who's helped elect me and worked for me numerous times, who had opportunities, as the brother said, to leave this community. But his love for the people of this community, he refused to depart from. And I'm talking about Norman McGill. Give him a round. Don't be pulled the wool over, have the wool over your eyes. This is not about Democrat line, Republican line, whatever line. This is about who could do the job for this community, for these people. And that's Norman McGill. So people's gonna talk to find, oh, Democrat. He's been serving the Democrats all his life. So don't buy that. It's an opportunity to run. It's an opportunity to be on the line to run on. But the fact is, the substance that's on the line. And that's Norman McGill. Yeah, get around. And he will be the one to best represent this community. So it's a short time away to the finish line. If everyone does their part, I can tell you tonight, this will be the next assemblyman for the 77th district. And meaning that you have to talk to your neighbors. You have to talk to your friends. You have to get over that hump of saying, I don't feel like going out to vote today. You must do it. You must knock on to your neighbors and the people in the community and tell them, this is one time you must do it. Because that must means that you're gonna have what you need. A man who's from here, a man who lives here, a man who was raised there, a man whose children was raised there. He didn't send them into no high-class community, wealthy community to live. He raised them right here in the hybrid section of the Bronx. And with that, they're off to school and college. But you know what? He says it's not about his children alone. He wants to make sure the rest of these children of this community has an opportunity, not a pipeline from school to prison or from the street to prison. He wants to cut through that pipeline and give them an opportunity that if they don't want to go to college, they'll have an opportunity for a trade in the union trades to become an electrician, an architect, carpenter, whatever it may be, and put them into the trade union that they can learn a trade. That's right, it's development. We can't keep throwing rifles down in the prison with our youth. That has to stop. And someone with the heart and mind to care has to be there to understand that. That's the reality. Everyone in this room know I'm talking the reality. Because we from the Bronx, we know what is the Bronx. And we know what is the South Bronx. And the reality. Our young has to have a better direction. We have to get them out of gangs. We have to call truces, bring them together, give them opportunities that they could go, like I said, get an opportunity, get a job, learn a trade, go on, be productive citizens, and bring safety into our communities. We have to do what Norman did and does, continue to stop the gun violence in our communities and keep promoting it and give it an opportunity to the young. If you put it down, show them a way. Some need to be guided. And that's what Norman's running for. So we can guide some of our young to a better opportunity and see our communities be better. Like his children went off to college, all of us should love and be proud of our children or grandchildren going off into a college, getting scholarships, becoming the next, whoever your favorite star is. Whoever your favorite basketball, your favorite politician, or your favorite whatever it is, Let it be your children who's part of that, and not the numbers and statistics of the state and city prisons. That has to be put aside. That has to stop. That man understands it. That man would do it. And that's why I come out here tonight to say that. And, you know, little effort. Just chip in what you can. Get out there, spread the word. Social media, go on it. Do what you have to do. Tell people, you know, I'm voting for Norm, and this is the reason why. So with that, there's so much more to say, but I know there's other speakers, but I just felt my obligation to come out. I thank Chairman Brown, one of the greats of this nation. Give him a round of applause. Chairman Medino, give him a round of applause. And to all, for Abraham Jones, good to see him in the building. Yeah, give him a round. Long time brother to Brown School. Adolphus Marcus, candidate for Assembly in Harlem. Give him a round of applause. So it goes on and on, family. So as we all do this together, let's Deanna Powell in the building, yes. As it goes on and on, let's get behind Norman. He's the right man. And we can sort out the party problem after he's in Assembly. But I can be assured, regardless of what line he is, Norman will be voting yes for what's right, and he will be voting no for what's wrong. Thank you.
Let's clap one more time for Mr. Eric Stevens. He laid it out flat.
I have to say thanks to Millennium News 24 TV. If you haven't been on, get the app, download it. It's on so many different shows throughout the week, and thank you for being here. Actually recording all, and we give the video out so you can put it on social media. It's a great, great, great broadcaster, one of the best in the country and the world that many people may not know of. It broadcasts over 12 million worldwide, throughout the whole Europe, throughout Asia, Africa, Australia, and all of America. So tune in, and they're right here recording tonight and reporting this. So let's give a round to Millennium News 24.
Thank you, Eric Stevens, for that, and Millennium 24. Let me tell you something. I knew from the jump that you was in the tank shooting for Sobie, because when I watched the interview, the way that you framed the questions and the way you was coming behind them with the answers, that you really spoke from the heart, that you really believed in them, and thank you for that too. All right. The first one is call him and give him an interview too. That's not going unnoticed. Thank you so much for that. So without further ado, the man that we're all here to celebrate tonight, the man that we're all here to gather around and get behind and to lift up and to push across that finish line. The reason that we're here, don't y'all want to hear from him? Yeah. We heard a lot, yeah. We heard a lot of things tonight, all truthful things about him. But now it's time that we hear from the man himself. Y'all give it up for my brother who I love and known all my life. Your candidate, Norman "Sobie" McGill. Come on, y'all. Y'all can do better than that. Come on, y'all.
First, thank all of you all for coming on such short notice. We've been running and couldn't get things together, and trust me, like this amount of people here is in like 14 hours by text, to be honest with you. So I wanna thank y'all and commend y'all, and let's give yourself a hand clap. Again, I want to thank Millennium 24 for coming out and also being one of the first to interview me before other TV networks. I want to give a special shout out and thank you to the man who actually leaded me first, who called me, and I'll get into a little bit about that, who said, would you want to represent us and be our candidate? And called me, and when he called me, I was a little hesitant. I get more into that. But I just want to say thank you so much to Mr. Fred Brown for believing me first. I also want to thank the chairman, because it was him. They got together and said that I can be their candidate to represent the Republican Party and go ahead and win this seat. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. Pretty much, I think they said a lot about me, but of course I go more in depth about myself. My name is Norman Sobie McGill. Sobie is a name given to me by my mother. It was really so big because I was a premature baby, born in 8 months, and she was like, oh, he ain't but so big. And we started saying so big, and people just started saying Sobie, and that's where it came from. So I was born and raised, and still live in the 77th district of Highbridge Park. I met my wife. She's from Red Park Towers. We've been married almost 26 years. I want to tell you that what much of y'all see of us, yes, it's much and beautiful, but we, like everybody else, we've had our struggles together. But the one thing I can say is that I've never been one night out of the house. I was on the couch, but not out of the house. So we raised 3 kids, and it's not, I could say that, yeah, you look at us and say, we raised 3 kids, and people say we put them in college, but I'm gonna tell you, I am one who truly knows that it takes a village. There's a lot of good people and community people that's around me like yourselves that helped me and see what I was doing and helped me mold my kids to the way they are. And I just thank each and every one of you all in my community for that as well. So I'm raised with African-American father, and my mom is Puerto Rican, full Puerto Rican, Ponce. Cararin Ruiz. That's about all the Spanish you'll get out of me. Real shortly, my mom was 14 with my dad, who was 5 years older, 19. Back then, Puerto Rican couldn't be with blacks, and then had me at 16, he 21. That's definitely out of control. So what happened was she had to go with my father. They was married right away, and we weren't allowed to go to her mother's house because her father married her. They were separate. Her father married her and said that her mothers didn't want them together, so we couldn't learn Spanish. So we lost the Spanish there because my father was like, they don't want me, y'all over there, and y'all can't go. Your mother, you could be, my mother, she could reach her family, but we couldn't go. So we lost out on the Spanish aspect. But I'm raised in Highbridge, and I want to tell you that I love my community. I really, truly love my community. I'm born, bred this. I can tell you about the 13 bus, when it was the 37 to the 49, come across, take the 11, which switched to the 18, rerouted to Red Park Towers to the 40, to the 42, come up over here, catch the 3 to the 36, go to the concourse to the 1 to the 2, and come back down. I can cover the whole 77th district with the bus routes because I know the bus stops. I know where our kids need speed bumps so they can get to and from school safely. We want those guns off the streets. We need these programs more than ever before. Let's talk about education, which is dear to me. When I was raised up, there was preaching, education, and that's because a lot of us wasn't getting educated at that time. So trade schools were in all of the schools. That is no more in high schools. You know why they took that out? They took that out because they said more and more people of my color are learning these trades and making money and not going to college. I'm not against that. I preach my kids to go to college. I'm one of them. I was raised in a poor neighborhood. but I'm gonna tell you something, in a poor family home, but I didn't know I was poor. My mom and father did the best of their ability. I didn't know I was poor until I was a grown man. My mom taught us how to read. We had food in the cabinet, and you know how to read because you will open up a can of corn, and it was supposed to be peas, because all the labels were white from no frills. But we ate well, and it tastes like everything that you buy today, whether it's Del Monte or whatever brand it is, because we had food. So knowing that and feeling that we wasn't poor, and knowing how good my family vow was, my mom used to have meetings with us 1 o'clock in the afternoon every day, and we just talk about what we're gonna do for the day, how we feeling. Kept the same thing up with my kids. That's how you find out what's going on with your kids. You have to talk to them. And you know, in that circle, my mom told my sister she was pregnant, and we all looked like, wow. In that circle of a conversation, my mom said, "You pregnant?" But it was that family vows that I came from when I'm instilling in everybody. Not everybody's fortunate to be in a 2-parent home. I was. And I only had my father for 23 years, but I can tell you, my 23 is somebody 60 or 75 years with your parents, because my dad kept me every day with him until the day he left this earth. And I learned a lot from him. So my mom is a pastor and was teaching me always in life to give back and take care of other people. So that's what I was trained to do. My mom still does that. She's with the King and Queen. She's in Atlanta, a nonprofit organization, giving back to the community as well. This is what we was raised in. We always had somebody living in my home, family or no family, helping somebody else. But this is what I was raised in. So I was doing the same thing, but I never wanted to get into politics. So me and my wife, we started helping people in the community. We started giving back. I would go to whoever, I don't care what you sold on the corner. If you made money in my neighborhood, you had to give me money for what I needed for the kids. If it was a book bag or a book, if it was a grocery store, if you sold a slice of pizza in my neighborhood, you had to support what I was doing to help these kids. And that's how I started out. Me and my wife doing that out of our own pocket. Didn't want to be the TA president, and people kept pushing me for that. And I ran away from it and ran away for it. And then came a time, I said, you know what, let me run for this. And Miss Smitherman, yes, love her to death. Learned a lot from her. She was president for like 40 to 50 years. When I decided to run, Ms. Smitherman came to the voting place and saw that I was running and walked out and said, thank you, you got it. She didn't want to run. I respected that, but she knew the work that I did, and she knew the stronghold that I had on the youth, because I was always doing the work. Then I became the president of Highbridge Gardens, and we was doing tremendous work, as much as I can, wellness checks. In the past couple of years, checking on neighbors' doors, 2 seniors I found deceased and had to do a knockdown that no one would know, and nobody how long they would have been there, how long they would have been there if I didn't do the wellness checks. Me and my kids, we knock on doors. If they tell me it's gonna snow tomorrow and be 0 degrees, I'm knocking on the senior's door that's next to me to make sure they're okay. Do you need something for the store? So this is why I'm telling you that in this seat, it's gonna be a broader scope, but the work don't stop. It's just more things that we need to do to keep bringing people along. So we kept doing this, and everything was with, I'm Democrat. I'm letting you know. I'm rocking with them. That's because I was raised Democrat. Oh, check the box, I'm Democrat. I don't know what Democrat is. Everybody's Democrat, I'm Democrat. Turkey drives, gun violence marches, plaques from everybody, from Bronxborough president to senator, council, assembly, definitely assembly, many from the assembly, you name it, never had Facebook, Instagram, nothing. Like he said, I couldn't even dress in my own functions. I never want to be on the front line. It's never about me. I was at a function that you'll see if you look at my bio, and I was at a memorial for a friend that passed away, and a lady was struggling across the street. And I'm watching with my friends, and we talking, and I'm watching her struggle as the cars going by, because it's a memorial, and traffic was crazy. I rushed. I would have died to get to that lady, because I felt it that she needed my help. When I grabbed her and helped her across the street, my friend took a picture of me and texted me, said, "You can't help yourself." He did it as a joke, but let me tell you what he did for me. That picture hangs in my office right now because it shows the back of me. And I say, you know what? I'm gonna use this forever because this is who I am. It's not who I am, it's what I'm doing. I don't care to show myself because trust me, I know that God got me. God's been continuing to give me. So in moving forward and helping the community every day, December 12th, my wife was scheduled to have surgery. I was planning since August that when I come out of work on paid family leave, I'm on leave with money. I'm gonna work on my non-for-profit business with my business partner, Cheney Yellerton and Danny. It's called Spirit of Life, supporting people around risk environments. We've been planning this for a couple of years, and this past November, we finally got paperwork, 501c, 500 charter, everything done. I'm scared to go for December 12th, when she go out, we working podcast studio to bring the kids out the street, teach them communication, music studio, hope one of them get a hit record so we all can be rich. And also a program showing young boys to grow into men. So with that said, she had the surgery on the 12th, 3 weeks passed, and I did nothing for the business because she needed more of my help than I thought that I could actually give. I thought I could be able to help and do what I gotta do, but I had no time. So it took up all my time, but I didn't know. I think God was preparing me for something else. So what happened was, this is what I'm trying to show you, that your plan, it's not God's plan. God has something else for you. So a Saturday, we were supposed to go to Home Depot, me and my partner, to buy floors. I said, let's not go Saturday, it's gonna be a snowstorm, let's go Friday. The first day we decided to do something business-wise, I'm walking through the aisles of Home Depot, and Mr. Fred Brown calls me and says, would you like to be our candidate? I said, what? Because I've always ran because Benny, who a lot of Democrats know because he helped a lot of people in AC, is my good friend. And Benny used to always tell me, you do a lot for the community, so please run for office. And I used to tell him, yes, Benny, I do a lot, but I don't have no dirt, but I got some dust, and I want to keep it on the floor. I want to walk on it. I'm like y'all. I'm y'all. Yeah, yes, I'm good. My character's good. Never drank or smoked or none of that and everything. But whatever y'all been through, I've been through too. I know your pain. No, I've never been in jail, but I've had them handcuffs on me. I know what it feels like. I am y'all. I'm a product of y'all. That's the reason why I fight for y'all. So what I'm saying is that I had a plan, and I believe God had another plan for me. And I prayed about it. When I still was like iffy with Fred Brown, but I prayed about it. And when I prayed about it, everything came to me that this is for you. Talk to my family, this is for you. You should go for this. You can do more for your community. And then I got an overwhelming response from people telling me, we always knew that this was going to be for you. but I didn't know. What sealed it was, I'm an elevator apprentice mechanic. When I told one coworker, because I didn't want to really let it out, what I was about to do, his response was, "You always said you wasn't going to be at this job long." And I said, "God, I'm going to listen and I'm going to follow. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the torch and I'm going to run with it." There's no failure. I didn't get into anything to lose. And we can't lose when we got God on our side. Numbers don't dictate whether you lose or win. Let me let you know that right now. Numbers do not dictate whether you lose or win. We have to keep pushing and bring others forward. That's the blessings of your neighbors. Even in President Harvard, I get things from NYCHA and they're telling me this is for NYCHA. How can I give NYCHA when someone across the street needs as well? They're hungry too. We've had so many empty and unfulfilled promises from the Democrats. I'm sure, go ahead, you want to vote for them. You can get another turkey. That's what you're gonna get. We need resource center with programs for these kids. I know it works. It will create jobs. It will create opportunity for others. And it also give them more opportunity to be off these streets. That would decrease their time from doing harm. Because we all know it takes 5 minutes to get in trouble and a lifetime to get out of. So it's the whole struggle. It's the whole struggle. But it's all of us pulling through and doing that. And I guess I preach education because my daughter, let me give you a story about my daughter when she was going to college. She has a best friend who's a star football player at Cardinal Hayes. And when she was preparing for college, because I always told her, I want you to go to college. Education is a great thing. I said, "What school is Typer going to?" And she said, "No, Daddy, Typer's going to a trade school. He's a football star." I said, "Great." And she said, "Wait a minute. You mean to tell me if I was to tell you I was going to go to a trade school, you would be that happy too?" And I said, "Yes. College is not for everybody." You know, my job as an elevator mechanic, in 4 years with a high school diploma, you make $52 an hour, $108,000. College is excellent, but it's not for everybody. Some of our kids need trades, need skills. So we need to bring these programs that's going to keep them busy. I want to fight for you. Like my brother said, I want to be your voice. Trust me. This is not about no party. It's about the right person for this job. As I go around, I tell people, you know my face, you know my name. Don't get confused by this game. It's about putting in the work. And trust me, in this seat, I'm gonna reach across the aisle. Because it ain't gonna be all Republicans. A seat might be held by a Democrat, might be conservative. That's the great thing about democracy. We get to choose. If you don't know what it means, you can look it up. We have the right to choose who we want. That is so important. Don't let someone choose for you. When you go home, I wouldn't care if it's the president, mayor, you look at that man and say, you know what? I like what he's saying. I think he's gonna do the right thing, because if I look at all, I'm sure I can find something wrong with all. So we just have to choose who's right and who's gonna stick up for what we're doing in our community. And it starts in our district. A lot of people don't know this is a very important seat. People don't come out for this. This is very important. President can't help us over here. It's the council, it's the state assembly. They can't help us. Poor mayor, just don't agree with a lot of things he says. I come up in a community school board. I don't want one person dictating what my schools do. That's my thought. I want a board. I want it to be agreed upon. I think teachers need raises. They are heroes. They're heroes as well. I don't want to say like, but the fire department's a hero, policeman's a hero, but teachers are heroes. They spend more time with our kids than we do. We gotta salute them. Some of us take it for granted. I can't wait to push my kid up to school so I can have a little free time, whether it's at work or doing nothing. Right, like they're a babysitter, you're right. Right, so we need to salute them. They're our heroes. If we put more money into them, we can hold them accountable because they'll be fighting for that job. That's the main thing we want to do for anybody, including me. We want to hold you accountable for what you say, what you hear, or even what you think you're going to do. Don't be fooled. Don't let nobody trick you. Don't let nobody come into this borough and try to tell us what we need when you ain't been here and walked the walk like I walk. I walk like y'all. I dress like y'all. I don't talk like all of them, but some of them I do. But I understand them because I'm connected with the youth. I'm connected with the seniors. This ain't gonna stop. I'm in this until the end, no matter what. And I think all along that God has had a hold on me for something like this. Call it politics, and I said I want to be in politics, but guess what? If I'm in this seat, I'm in politics. I gotta do politics. I went to the Conservative Party and had a meeting with them. You wanna know what they was impressed with? When they said, we want you, there's a lot of things I didn't know about because I wasn't in politics. But the minute I say yes, my father taught me never get in anything that you don't know about. For the next week, my wife could witness this because she was calling me many times. I sat on the computer and I was running through everything. To the lower house, 150 members, 102 Democrats, 48 Republicans. To the upper house, to the Senate, 42 Democrats, 21 Republicans. To Governor Hochul. Couldn't even tell you about nothing about politics, but I educated myself, and I'm gonna continue to educate myself because never will I get into anything and not know about it. And out of all the people that actually interviewed me, it was a round table. You could attest to that. Like 10 people with 4 questions on everything from democracy, which I studied, abortion, congested pricing, schools, why Catholic schools closed,
That's right.
race, immigration, stuff that some of them, I'm not blind or dumb to the fact, but some of it a month ago probably couldn't tell you about it because I'm small to the community. I'm from the grassroots. I can tell you when the parking is horrible in my neighborhood. I can tell you the concerns and needs that we need, where we need ramps at and more crosswalks. That's where I was at. But because I knew all that, and I said I'm gonna invest my time into the political aspect of it, in due time, I'll be able to tell you more all about politics as well. But let me tell you something before I go. I'm gonna fight for you no matter what any outcome is. This won't stop. I'm gonna continue to build because I was raised like that. I was born like that. And I knew in my 30s that my calling for God was to help people because I knew the feeling I got when I did it. It's like a feeling that came over my body whenever I helped somebody across the street with their bags, feed it. When my mom left the apartment, I'm not even the neighborhood, but many people in my community lived in my house. Sobie, I don't have a house. I got a room for you. I got a 3-bedroom. You have a room. Many people. I got a brother right now that's 7.5 years in prison. You know where he got parole to? My house. Right now. Until he got himself together, back out to society. That's how I am. Always have to look out for one another because we all we got. And this is how you build your family name, and your family name will grow. That I'm trying to leave a legacy. I could care less, and a lot of people, including my mother, about my house down south. I can go get a job and just live my life. I knew that my work was not done. I'm telling you, I knew my work. Everybody from my mother to my mother-in-law. My mother's in Atlanta, my mother-in-law's in Atlanta. We got a house in Atlanta. I'm telling you, because in politics, you want to dig. We earned that. But you know what? My work was not done. That's why we're not there. I have more work done here. And I know that, and this is what I always said to myself, if I never ever even actually live in here, it's a foundation for my kids. Again, I'm always looking out for my kids. And that's what it's about. So I want to thank you all, and I appreciate you all once again. Mike, Fred Brown, and let me tell you, go out because it's the Bronx. Don't be tricked. Don't let them fool you. Don't let them fool you. Don't let them knock on your door and tell you something that's not true. If I was voting on somebody, whether it's politics or not politics, I will vote more off because I know who you are and I know your character before I vote for somebody I don't know. Right. Don't let them keep bringing people here to tell us what we need and we get nothing. Right. I only got one promise. I would never stop fighting.
All right, give it up for Norman McGill, our candidate. One more time. Wow. That brother who he said that did 7 years ago, he opened his doors for him. It's not his blood brother either. Somebody that he loved, and he said, no, you have a place to stay, and it's in my house. Right? So we're not over yet. Before we leave, also, we all please, with Maria, you're gonna come up. But before that, I would be remiss if this woman who I don't think anybody outworks, I say this all the time. I did a five borough initiative for the youth some years ago with her, with Silent Voices. We would have a meeting in Brooklyn, and I'm keeping it real. We did a meeting in Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan, and we was back to the Bronx for a meeting, and then at her apartment before 12 noon to go on more meetings in the afternoon. Tiffany Fulton, come up here and say a few words. And that was after she was up all night on the computer doing so. I said, I don't know how she does it, like an Energizer bunny, but she gets it done on some Tiffany say.
Hello, first and foremost, hi everybody. Assemblyman, First Lady, put it into existence. That's how we have to talk. We put it into existence. But I've been in High Ridge for 45 years in the White Building, 45 years. But I was always between High Ridge and Bronx all my life. But I was always doing something for the community, like so behind the scenes. There's a lot of people I touched, a lot of things I did right here in High Ridge that nobody ever knew, because I was always behind the scenes because it was about the people and the youth. Damon, he knows, we tested. We had a program. So we had a program called Got Tested through the health department. We tested over 3,000 and something young people throughout New York City for HIV and AIDS. We had a peer-to-peer outreach program. The New York Yankees recognized me on their field and gave me the go-to battle award for the work that we was doing right here in the community. So right now, what I'm doing more writing. I am a bestseller, but I'm still doing for the community. Not to sit here and list all my accolades, but it's about Sobe right now. You know, Sobe been here with me, Damon, Jerry, and all of us from the beginning doing for the community. I am a Democrat. But somebody, Sophie called me or Damon called me and said, Tiffany, we need you. He said, we need you to do the PR. We need some publicity and blah, 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 blah. I said, well, I'm busy because I'm writing. I got a lot of things to do, but I'm gonna get on the phone. And I started getting on the phone, calling a bunch of people that could help Sobe as far as what he was doing. And I called another young lady. I said, hey, Sobe need a press person. He a PR person. Can you help me? She said, I'll call you back. She called me back or she sent me a text the next day. And she said, well, you know, I'm really a Democrat and I don't think I can help a person that's running for Republican. I said, well, guess what? I said, that's family for me. So whether I'm a Democrat, Republican, wherever I'm at, if my family need me, I'm gonna be there. It's not about the party, it's about the work that I know that he's gonna do. We have the same issues in Harlem. You know, I'm still pushing and fighting for a bunch of things in Harlem. And again, it's about the people that's going to do the work. And I know Sobe, he's true to the heart. You know, he's passionate about his community and always has been. And I just want him and First Lady to know that whatever you need from me, I am here. Whatever I can do for you, I will do for you, and I will help you. But I am here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tiff, and I know if she says it, she means it. Dino from the Conservative Party, come up and say a few words, please, Dino. Y'all can put a round of applause for Dino, please. Put a clap on it.
Let me tell you something. When people cross, and nobody's crossing anywhere, people are staying in their positions. But people want to see change. They want to see change. I know Dino, he's from the Conservative Party. There's a few more Democrats in this room. There's whatever you want to call yourself when you go in that booth, but nobody knows what you do. And I want to end with this for sure. I'm never impressed with titles, educations, and degrees. So when you could do it, I do it with a high school diploma. You understand me what I'm saying? And I do what I do. And they ain't gave me the name mayor and president for nothing because we put in the work.
Good evening, family. I'm gonna try my best to be brief. It's very rarely I prepare something. I'm District Leader Dion Powell, but occasionally I get Dino. Yeah, Dino. The Flintstones, right? There's a dinosaur. Ah! Okay. So I want to thank all my colleagues, former Assemblyman Eric Stevenson, Assembly District Alpheus, Brother Abraham Jones, Brother Cheney, and some other beautiful people in here that may recognize me from Friendly Baptist Church. So I represent the Conservative Party in the 78th Assembly District over there in Little Italy and Bellarmine and Fordham Road. And this is actually my return here a few times. In 2009, me and my brother Joel R. Rivera ran when the Brother Green left and then Vanessa first came on the scene. So we made the gambit. And just to let you know, I left the Democratic Party. What made me leave was very, very simple. School closures. They closed my school, St. Angelo Merici. Who knows St. Angelo
My
Merici?
son's graduating.
There you go. And one thing the Conservative Party believes in is school choice. And a lot of people don't know that mostly all the Black men in politics went to Catholic school. Isn't that amazing? I'm like, how are you going to beat your chest all day, every day about public school when I know for a fact you went to Mount St. Michael? Hey, did you go to Rice before it closed? And you know what else I remember about this neighborhood? Alfred E. Smith High School. If you remember Alfred E. Smith High School, it had auto mechanic shop. When I crashed my car, my grandma said, go to Alfred E. Smith High School. They're gonna repair your car for free. But I won't talk about that right now. So I grew up on 165th Street, Sherman Avenue, around the corner from the infamous Shiesty Avenue. So one of the things I want to tell you guys about is Mr. McGill. How did we meet? So I'm a member of the Bronx NAACP, who's meeting this Tuesday at 7 o'clock at Lincoln Hospital. And a little young lady named Miss Bernadette Strauss said, Dion, you gotta meet Norman McGill. He's in high school. He's in Highbridge. You know, it's one of those things. Oh, okay, I called him a few months ago. We talked politics in the shop. And he said the same thing. I'm not running for anything. I said, really? I heard you run everything over there with the Super Curry brothers and the rest of the brothers over here in the West Side, LPAC. So I said, okay, fast forward, he's before us in the Conservative Party. And I said, what are you going to do about the 7 Catholic schools that are closing in the Bronx? And then I helped him. He's like, well, you know, charter schools. I said, no. Why if we have all these great black men getting out of the hood through Catholic school, why are we celebrating that? So I'm going to actually leave you with this. I actually was on 167th Street and the concourse handing out the Conservative Party flyers. No offense, Mike, from the Republican side, but we're all teaming up. A lot of people don't know that we teamed up and got the first Republican elected in the Northeast Bronx in 40 years. And I said to everybody, you know, change is coming. Change is here. And so when we were on the concourse the other day with our Conservative Party flyers, we had a little chant. Hopefully you can chant with me through Cross Awareness. Repeat after me. Don't vote Democrat. Don't vote Democrat. Don't vote Democrat. Now here's your homework, family. Everybody take out your phone. Because I too am a consultant mode right in this game. I've been doing this since 2009 in the streets, as they say. Everybody take out your phone right now. I'll give you some homework. You're gonna go to a little website. It's called vote.nyc. That's vote.nyc. When you go to this wonderful website, my family, some of you might want to know where the early polling sites are, hidden in plain sight. Because they hid this election in plain sight, and they didn't announce it to all you wonderful people. So when you go to vote.nyc, at the top of the page of vote.nyc, oops, let me make sure I get out here. Sorry. You're going to see the special election in white letters, hidden in plain sight. 77th, the congressional election. You click that button, vote.nyc. When you click that button there, it says 77 at the top, and hidden little white letters next to the other special race, you're going to put in your address and that wonderful thing. You're going to say, where do I vote? Hidden in plain sight. You're going to go around the whole hill. You're going to go from Morrisina Air Rights to Executive Towers, all the way west to the wonderful River Park Towers. You're going to tell your neighbor, vote.nyc. But you're going to vote on row C because we're told those Republicans are evil. So what did you say, son? You said, don't vote Democrat. Don't vote Democrat. But we all want to vote for Mr. Norman McGill. I'm Dion Powell, district leader of the 78th Assembly District next door. Thank you, family, for your time. Okay? But just don't vote Democrat. Don't vote Democrat. Don't vote Democrat.
Yes, thank you. Great.
I just want to say something that when people are out, that we have to make sure, because people need to be educated on voting, and a lot of people are not. So when we're out, they need to know this is a special election, and it doesn't matter what party you are, you can vote. So that is very important that people understand that the youth understand that, and this room would be probably even more crowded if people understood that. So please educate yourself, educate the youth about the importance of voting and how the process works, because a lot of people don't know and only come out when it's time to vote for the president. Thank you.
Okay, and last but not least, before we, I'm gonna call one more person up, and before we get out of here, after he speaks, Ms. Maria Forbes will come up, announcement that is paramount to what this whole thing tonight is about. We cannot leave out of here without our signatures, okay? All right? Okay, let's put our hands together for somebody who's known Sobie almost as long as he's a brother of ours. Him and I, we did a lot of work together in the community. He's been working in this community all his life himself. He's able to come up and speak truth to what what we need in this 77th district because he knows it so well himself. Come on, give a round of applause for my brother, Dom Otto.
Thanks, Dave. Good evening, everyone. All praises due to the Most High. I'm gonna be honest, I'm very tired. I work in Brooklyn, had to go up by the Bronx Zoo, get my car, and come back. Why is it so important? Because I heard two words this evening. One was opportunity. We have a special opportunity to finally put somebody in office that we know and that we can hold, another word, accountable. I've been here since 1970 through the Green, Vanessa, Latoya, and that's just the 77th Assembly District. Know it well, knew Venancio Catala, AKA Benny, very well, very, very well. Rest in peace, Benny. And when I saw who they selected to run, it was a slap in the face. It was a slap in the face. Why? Because there's been enough community leadership here that truly does the work, that truly does the work. And I'm talking from the Mosaic, Praise, Peace, and Pride, Woody Crest Center for Human Development, and the list goes on. Highbridge Gardens Community Center. Sobe's been raised and grown through all of these institutions and community programs. This is why he is who he is. Now, I'm gonna keep it 1,000. Sobe, I'm gonna hold you accountable. I'm gonna hold you accountable because I can. And because finally, I have a chance to get on the phone and say, yo, why is the Bronx ranked 62 in health outcomes? And we've known that for over 10 plus years. Right here in Highbridge, there was about 9 pharmacies thriving. What does that mean? We're in a sick community. If 9 pharmacies could thrive for years, yeah, Rite Aid just shut down, but there's 2 right across the street on 168th Street, and it's just too many pharmacies. The ills that we've been faced with, the challenges that we've been faced with, he knows it well. I know it well. I can hold him accountable. We can hold him accountable. Can we hold this other candidate accountable? Really? He came from 2 failed elections in Harlem, from what I understand. So now there's an opportunity to come over here like everybody else has been doing, and I'm talking not-for-profits, I'm talking elected office, I'm talking land. We finally can have somebody that speaks our language, that speaks our voice. We finally have it and we can hold them accountable. We can and we will. I'm gonna stay on it. I'm gonna stay on it. I've been Democrat all my life, but what that mean? For real, and no disrespect, because I've had great relationships with some of those leaders, but I've been in the sandbox with him, and me and him have had falling outs. We can't allow somebody else to come in here and take an opportunity away from us. Finally, we have a true opportunity. Right. So I say, what do we need to do? We only got a small amount of time to get him in office. A small amount of time. So I heard a lot today, but what I didn't hear was a call to action. What are we gonna do to assure that he gets in? February 13th is right around the corner. It's right around the corner. And trust and believe, he doesn't have a political base. He doesn't have that political base and that familiarity, but he got community. And if you ask me, community trumps these political things. I don't even know how to describe them, but community should trump that. And I hate to use that word, so retract the last thing I said. Community should overcome what's been the norm. If the norm is good for you, then leave it as it is. But if you're not comfortable with, I'm gonna speak for my 50 years, and it's not comfortable, all right? The cost of living, ridiculous for this community. The parking, ridiculous for this community. right? We never had a YMCA, a Boys and Girls Club, or anywhere to nurture and develop the talent, skills, abilities, and interests that all of our young people are born with. They're all born with that. We need somewhere up here in this neighborhood. Ogden Park is an underutilized park. We supposed to be able to build a multi-floor resource center so we can nurture and develop the talents of the young. Work with the schools so during schools they can use that facility. Work with the seniors so the seniors can stay engaged. Too many times we leaving them isolated. They got these small senior programs. We need to keep them thriving and integrated with the youth. They have a lot of jewels and knowledge to pass off. Sobie is the guy. He's been doing it. I believe he will continue to do it. So we must put the word out. February 13th, vote Norman McGill.
Hey, and what have you know? Early voting starts tomorrow. What does that mean? Get out there, let them know they can start, those that can't get to the polls, they can start voting tomorrow. You know, you heard Dom say that word accountability. That's a good word. Sobe's accessible to that accountability. And we know where his heart is. He's going to listen, right? He's not going to turn his face when you call him on it. Dom knows that well. I know that well. We've been in the sandbox together, and that's real talk. We played in the Polly Miller's sandbox together. All right? So let's make sure everybody leaves out of here excited, energized, mobilized, ready to go. February 13th is right around the corner. We thank everybody who came out tonight, everybody who spoke tonight, everybody who took it out of your busy schedule, and you saw it fit that you had to be here to represent the start of something that will be historical. And I say that again, this is the start of something that will be historical. We're going to make history together. We're going to take back what is ours, and that is our community. It's enough of them promising stuff. It's not about the party, but the party he's representing them with pride, right? He made up his mind to change because he said enough is enough. So it's time to do it. It takes a village. It takes all of us to work together, and let's get this done. Let's lift them up. Let's lift ourselves up, and let's push them across that finish line. Listen, please do not walk out of here without seeing Miss Maria Forbes. Please do not walk out of here.